Hello everybody, it's ArtSwirl here and welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the art contest that I did on TikTok. For those of you who don't know what this is, basically the rules were to draw my original character with any Haikyuu or Hunter x Hunter character of your choice. I received a lot of entries, and in this video I'm going to go through each and every one of them and I'm going to talk about all of them, and at the very end I will announce the winners. Before we get into the contest entries, I want to congratulate everyone who participated in this art challenge. As artists, we are all unique and each one of you has your own art style. I appreciate each and every drawing that was submitted. Looking at each drawing is inspiring and it shows just how dedicated you have to be in order to grow your skill, no matter what age you are. Never stop drawing. Everyone is a winner here because every drawing has its own story. That being said, I will still have to choose to place first, second, and third because that's what I said I would do. Just know that I consider you all to be a part of my art community and you inspire me to become a better artist. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this art challenge. Now that we're getting into the contest entries, I want to point out that I won't be going through these in any particular order. I have a little over 70 entries that I'll be going through and I'm excited to show them all off, so without further ado, let's begin. The first entry that I'm going to talk about is this drawing done by this user of my OC, Ashley, and Hinata. I really like how they used Animal Crossing as the theme. They both look super cute, and I love the little blush on Hinata's cheeks. It's adorable. Everything about this is really great, and I think that they did a really great job on this. This drawing was sent to me by this user on Instagram, and I don't know why they think it's bad. I think it's really good, and I really love how they use the Haikyuu commercial break as the theme for their drawing. I believe this next entry is the first entry I ever received for the art contest, and I really like the art style here. I love the character expressions, they portray emotion, and I also like how they decided to color coordinate the background with the clothes. I think that's really cool. This next drawing reminds me a lot of the beginning of season 4 of Haikyuu because Hinata's wearing his scarf and his winter clothes, and I also really like how the artist did his hair. I think it's very different compared to how most people draw his hair, and I just like the style that they drew it in. This next entry of Nishinoya MIOC is very interesting, and what stands out about it the most is the drip effect. I don't think many people would have gone for an effect like this, and it definitely makes the drawing pop. I think what I like the most about this drawing are the character poses and also their expressions. I feel like it's telling a story. This was another entry sent to me through Instagram, and I love how dynamic the drawing is, how Hinata's in action, he's about to hit the volleyball over the net, and my OC's like, please don't hit me. The artist did a really great job on this. This next drawing is of Myoc and Kirishima, and the reason why this doesn't have anything to do with Haikyuu or Hunter x Hunter is because the artist asked me if they could draw a different anime character, so I said it was okay, and they came up with this, and I think it looks really cool. I think the artist of this next drawing did a really great job of portraying a story with their artwork. I like how Kuru's attention is focused on something, he's pointing towards it, he's saying something, and then Ashley seems kind of annoyed that he has his arm on her head. It looks very interesting and it makes me want to see more. The art style definitely stands out the most to me in this drawing, and also the shading. The shading was done really well, and I like their expressions too, especially Tanaka's. I'm not too sure of everything that's going on here, but the look on Killua's face definitely makes it seem like he's up to something. Also, I really like all the details that were put into the clothes, all the wrinkles and everything, and also the shading was done really well. I really like the characters' expressions in this drawing, especially Ashley. She looks like she's very focused on her phone, and they both seem to be pretty tuned into their video games. I think the artist did a really great job on this entry. I like how original it is, and I think it's really cool that they decided to take these characters and turn them into little kids and draw them that way, and I also really like their school uniforms. They both look really cute. This drawing is definitely an attention grabber. I love all of the bright orange hues and how dynamic everything looks. It seems like they were taken in an action pose. I like how Ashley's hair is flowing around her, and it definitely feels like it would spread positivity. I'm not quite sure what's going on in this drawing, but Hinata definitely looks like he's about to leap into action. I also like how proportionate their bodies are. What I like the most about this drawing are the eyes. They're drawn in a very different style, and I also like how big they are. It makes the drawing look very unique. This drawing grabs my attention in a lot more ways than one, and first I want to point out the story that's being told here. They're both playing a video game. They both look like they're having fun. They're very focused and they look like they're very competitive. And another thing that I like about this drawing is the art style and how they were drawn, the positions that they're in. It's all very interesting and it just makes me want to see more. I like that the artist took a different approach on this one and decided to draw the camera screen as if they're taking a selfie. I think that's really cool and interesting. And I also like how they added the photo gallery and there's a little volleyball in there. That's really cool. I like that the artist decided to take characters from both Haikyuu and Hunter x Hunter and put them all into one picture with Ashley in the very center. And I also like how Kuru's posing for the picture. That's really cool. The coloring for this drawing was done really well. I especially like Yamaguchi's hair as well as Ashley's hair. The highlights show up really well and the shadowing looks good, and I also like all their expressions, especially Yamaguchi's. This drawing is very unique. I love how abstract the background is, and the eyes are done really well. The shading is good, and I notice that a lot of artists don't shade the eyes, so this artist definitely has some experience, and I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but I'm pretty sure that the artist asked me if they could draw their OC in the picture, and I'm pretty sure that that's the character on the right. This next drawing is separated into two different pictures because I had to take a screenshot of the video and the artist never filmed the characters together, so this is what I ended up with. But anyways, I really like Emma's expression. I also like how well drawn my OC is. They both look really cute and I think the artist did a great job. By the way that the artist did this drawing, it looks like the characters are posing for a photo. I also like how they're wearing matching sweaters. This drawing was done really well. I especially like all the detail that was put into Gon's face. You can see that his eyes are shaded really nicely. And I also like the idea that the artist had to put them both in the hunter exam because they're both wearing their badges. And I like how they're posing for a photo. Here we have another drawing where the characters are all posing for a photo. I like how the artist decided to add the little angles to show that the camera is focusing. And I also like that they decided to put a picture of Tanaka at the very top to show that he's the one taking the photo. I also think it was a great idea to put Tendu and Nishinoya together. I think if they were on the same team, they would be really great friends, and they're both kind of chaotic, so they would probably cause a lot of chaos, and I also really like the coloring. I think it's very well done. The line art looks really nice in this drawing, and I also like the colors that the artist chose for their clothes. I think that Ashley's bright pink sweater matches her hair really well, and I also like their expressions. What I like the most about this drawing is that you can definitely tell that something's going on. They're all having a conversation. Hinata looks a little bit mad about something. Kageyama probably called him short because he's smirking. And Ashley's trying to break up the fight. There's a lot going on in this drawing. I like how dynamic it is and how the characters look like they're frozen in place while they're doing something. I also like how the artist decided to do the whole background and also add the volleyball net. This drawing is very interesting. I like all the attention to detail, especially in the hair and the clothes, and I also think that the colors complement each other nicely. There's a lot of different things that I like about this drawing, and first I want to point out the line art. You can see that there's quite a bit of depth variation, and that makes the drawing look a whole lot more three-dimensional. I also really like the coloring, and I just think it looks very clean and nice, and it blends together really well. And I also like how color coordinated the drawing is as well, and Hinata's hair matches Ashley's sweater, and I also like their expressions and the body proportions. I think that there was a lot of detail put into Hinata's eyes as well as his teeth. It looks really good. What stands out the most to me in this drawing is the art style as well as the character expressions. I also like the shading, especially on Kenma's hair. I think it looks really good. This drawing is really cool. I like how dynamic it is and that Hinata's jumping up in the air and Gon swinging his fishing pole back. I also like that the artist decided to put the volleyball at the end of the fishing pole. I think it's a very interesting idea and it definitely makes the drawing look unique. This drawing was done well. I especially like Akashi's face and his expression. I also like how his hair is flowing, and I also like how they were all colored. The art style is very unique in this one. I also like the coloring and how they decided to pose the characters. This drawing was done really well. I especially like all the warm hues and how the artist drew the characters. There's so much detail in this artwork, and I love how Ashley's hair looks like it's flowing, and I like all the highlights that are on the clothes, and also Hinata's expression looks really good. It looks like there's a story being told here, and I really like that. This drawing's cool. I like how the characters are posed, and I also like how the artist decided to color Ashley's hair. I also think that the art style is very unique, and it all looks really cool. What I like the most about this drawing are the character expressions and also what's going on. Kenma seems to be pretty focused on a video game, and Ashley wants to see what kind of game he's playing, and they both seem pretty happy. This drawing is very interesting. I love the background and the crow wings, and I also like how detailed the hair is, especially on Ashley, and I like the character expressions. When I first saw this drawing, I was really surprised about how many characters there were. This obviously took a lot of work, and there's a lot of details in here, and each one of them has a different expression, and they're all just drawn really, really well. This drawing is really cute. I love all the detail that was put into it, and also the character expressions, and I think that the line art looks really clean and neat. I love this drawing. I think it's super creative, and I think it's really great that the artist came up with the idea for this. I like how they call it Karasuno's Small But Mighty, and I also like how they put Ashley as the manager of this small but mighty club because she's the tallest. I think it's really awesome. The artist did a really great job on this drawing. I especially like how sharp the number 3 is on the uniform, and I also like how they drew Ashley winking. This artist seems to be really good at drawing different faces and expressions. Tsukishima's is especially good because of how much detail that was put into him, and his glasses look really sharp. I also think it was a nice idea to put his hair back because it gives him a little bit of a different style, and I think it's cool that they did an orange outline around all of them because it makes them all stand out from the white background. The shading that was done for the eyes of these characters is very unique and it really draws my attention towards them. I also like how the eyes are different shapes and sizes. This artist has a very original style of coloring. The bold shadows and the bright highlights coincide with each other nicely. I think the artist did a really great job on the shading for Killula's hair. It looks very similar to how it does in the show. The anatomy and body proportions in this drawing are done really well. You can clearly see Hinata's muscles. There's a lot of action going on in this drawing. Ashley's about to serve the volleyball, and Hinata looks very, very excited. I'm not too sure what Kageyama's doing. He looks like he's just kind of bored. But the characters are drawn really well, and the shading is very good. The artist did a really great job on drawing the clothes. You can see that there are wrinkles in Killua's shirt, and also the hair is very detailed on Ashley. It's kind of wavy. There's a lot of highlights and shadows, and you can see the lines, which it's all very detailed. This artist is really good at drawing faces, especially coloring them. Ashley's has just the right amount of shadowing and highlights, and I also like how there's just a tiniest pink hue on her cheeks. It makes it look very three-dimensional. The theme of this drawing is very interesting. I think it's really cool that the artist decided to put these characters in a playing card. Also, Hisoka's hair is very detailed and the shading is done really well on the clothes too. There's little white highlights which make certain parts of the drawing really pop and stand out, and it's done very well. In this drawing, both Ashley and Hinata appear to be taking a selfie, and I think that Ashley's face was drawn very well. Her expression is very interesting, and there's a lot of detail put into her eyes, and I think that the background complements the drawing very nicely. The clouds have a lot of depth to them, and it overall looks really good. This drawing looks really cool. I think it's interesting that the artist decided not to do line art for the full drawing, but it makes it look more realistic and also makes it look very unique. This artist has a very original style, and the colors they chose for the drawing complement each other nicely. The blue eyes match the blue pants, and the blue goes very well with the yellow. Here we have another drawing of Hinata and Ashley. I think the pose is very interesting. It shows that something's going on and the characters aren't just static. And also, I like how the background matches Hinata's clothes. There's a few different things that I like about this drawing, and first of all, I want to talk about the shading on Ashley's hair. So, the artist decided to use warm colors to highlight the hair, which makes it look a whole lot more natural, and I can see that they used a bit of purple to shade the hair, which also makes it look more natural as compared to just using black and white for the shades. And also, the eyes are done really well. I like the pink hue around Ashley's eyes, and there's a lot of wrinkles on the clothes, which makes them look realistic. And I just think that this drawing was done very well. What's really unique about this drawing is the style of the shading. I think that the umbrella looks really cool. It kind of looks like it's a reflection of the sky and maybe some clouds. And then the rain in the background looks very nice. I like how they mixed it with like a pink mist. It looks very mystical and it looks interesting. The concept of this drawing is really good. I like the idea the artist had of putting these characters into one of those Haikyuu commercial scenes, and I think that the bubbles were drawn very well, and I like the expressions on their faces, especially Nishinoya's. Here we have Ashley talking to Sugawara. I think Sugawara's expression was drawn very well, and I also like how he has one eyebrow raised and how he has one eye open and the other eye closed, and also the style that they were drawn in is very unique. Here we have another drawing of Ashley and Killua. The artist did a really great job in drawing this very similar in style to Hunter x Hunter, and it just looks very good. This is another entry I had to separate into two different posts, but taking a closer look at the line art, it looks very clean, crisp, and smooth. And also, I like the shading that the artist started to do on Nishinoya's hair, as well as on their necks, right below their chins. I think if the artist had a little bit more time to work on this, it would have turned out even better, but what I'm seeing so far looks really good. This artist definitely took a lot of time putting in the details in the clothes, especially in Tendo's shirt. You can see all the wrinkles and also the hair. There's a lot of detail in Tendo's hair and the shoes as well. I can see that the artist tried to make the lines look very nice and neat, and also I noticed that Ashley's face looks very symmetrical, which is hard to do when you're drawing front-facing profiles, so the artist did a very good job on this. What makes this drawing different is the style of the faces. It's very interesting how the artist decided to make the chins long and pointy and kind of thin, and I also really like the shading. Here we have another drawing of Hinata and Ashley. I think it's really cool how Ashley's hair is flowing out to the side. I also really like the coloring. They're both in motion. She looks like she's happy about maybe making Hinata mad about something. And yeah, I like everything about this drawing. Next up, I'm going to show you guys the comics that I received. I think these are super creative, and I'm going to let you guys watch the videos, and I'm not going to comment on them, just so you guys can watch them and enjoy the art. Now is probably the part you've all been waiting for. I'm finally going to announce the winners. I'm going to start off with third place, then second place, and then first will be last. Taking third place is this drawing of Kuru and Ashley, and the reason why I put this in third place is because I just really like the art style, and the coloring is very, very vibrant, and it just really captures my attention, and I love all the highlights, how bright Ashley's hair is, and also how dark it is in some areas, and also the anatomy is very proportionate, and I like the poses that they're in. Second place was a tie between two different drawings. I love them so much that I couldn't choose, so I had to give them both second place. And the first drawing that you're looking at right now is very detailed. There's so much depth to the drawing. In the far distance, you can see the nighttime sky, you can see the hills, and then the bushes and the fence, and the trees. And I also really like how the characters are drawn and the colors that were used to highlight them. And I especially like how detailed Kageyama's hair is, and that they're both eating and they're all kind of just doing something. Like, there's a story behind this, and I just really like that. This is the other drawing that won second place, and I really like that it's a daycare theme and how they're all taking care of like the baby versions of the other Karasuno members. I also love how this was colored. I think that the coloring on Ashley's hair was done really, really well, and I like the colors that were used for the clothes and also the warm tones that are in Ashley's hair. And I just think that there's so much detail put into this that it had to get second place. First place goes to this drawing. I love how much action there is, and Hinata's jumping up, spiking the ball, Gon's running towards the viewer, Killua's trailing behind him, and then Tendo is sitting there staring at the viewer. And I also like how Ashley is at the very front reaching out her hand. It looks like the cover of an anime. It looks really, really cool, and there's so much detail put into the background. I love how like dynamic the sky is, how the clouds are kind of curved around so it looks like they're moving around, and all the birds that are up there. It's just really, really cool, and I had to give this one first place. The artist did an amazing job. Thanks again to everybody who participated in this video. If I happen to miss your entry, please let me know because I know quite a bit of people have had problems getting their videos to show up. So if I happen to miss your video, I can post it in a different YouTube video. So let me know and I'll figure something out about that. But also, if you could leave a like on this video, that would really help me out because this took me a really long time to make. And I honestly planned on getting this out like 2 days ago, but the process was just not going fast enough. So I hope you guys all enjoyed watching. If you haven't already, you should subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting art content very soon. And I plan on posting speed drawings and art tutorials. And if you're interested in any of that, you should definitely subscribe to my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys!